Jai Shri Krishna. Remember, Jai Shri Krishna is good. Love Shri Krishna is the best. Jai Shri Krishna sabhi keh dete hai, usme kya badi baat hai? Everybody says Jai Shri Krishna all the time, mindlessly sometimes, without thinking. It's a greeting. It's been reduced to a greeting. Hi, hello, Hari. Some say Hari Om, some say Sai Ram, Om Sai, Ramji, Guruji, Jai Shri Krishna. This isn't a greeting. It should not remain a greeting. So maybe change it up a little bit if you need to, so that it's at the forefront. What am I saying and what's the purpose behind it? Personally, I prefer love Shri Krishna. Krishna loves Shri Krishna. Yeah, Krishna would rather be loved than hailed. That was Dwarikadish Krishna. But his own favorite form, as he admits, is his Vrindavan Vrajan Gopika Vallabha Krishna, in which it was all about love. It's not so much about the glory and the grandiose version of him. So love Shri Krishna. And it's also then, that's a reminder for us, and it's also a hopefully a helpful reminder to others also, right? Ultimately, Krishna would not have us as his subjects, as like his pupils, like his servants. Krishna would have us as his lovers, as his beloved, because Krishna does not. And he says, "Ye yathamam prapadyanti tans tataiva bhajamyam." In the 4th chapter, when he says that I'm divine Arjun, I'm looking like this in front of you, but I'm actually divine. And when you understand that my origin and who I am and where have I come from, what have I come from, even in that, the knowledge is the full liberation, just knowing and understanding it. And then that verse is followed by, he says, and I reciprocate in the manner in which one approaches me. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. I worship them as they worship me. It's a very reciprocal relationship. It's perfect accounting. And when Yashoda said, "No, I want you as my son," he was prepared to give her mukti upon darshan. So I'll give you moksha right now, right here. I'll give you the best gyan, the highest gyan, since you have pleased me, since you've compelled me to appear in front of you. And she says, "No, if I wanted mukti, would not have asked you for mukti. And if you came in front of me, I would have said, mukti de do." Am I saying that? She's like a mother. Is that what I'm asking for? No. If I wanted that, I would have asked for. No, whether it's Devaki or Yashoda. Listen, now I want to experience the joy of motherhood and the mother of God. And so he's really intrigued. It's a very beautiful story. He's very intrigued. He said, "Are you sure? Because, I'm here. I can give the whole, the final to you." "No, I think there is something greater than that." That's what I want. I want to be the mother of God. I want to experience motherhood of the best kind. And he tries to reason with her. He says, "But motherhood is filled with grief also, as you would very well know. It's the joy and the challenges constantly. A mother is always happy and always challenged by the child. So are you sure?" And it's the 3rd time he asks, and she says, "Yes, I'm certain." And so while thinking in his mind, he says, "Okay, all right, may it be so." So just like I said 3 times, "Okay, all right, may it be so." It was 3 times. He says, "Tathastu, tathastu, tathastu," and then it disappears. And then he says, "I want a son like you." Like exact description, that I wish I want a son like you. And to which he had said 3 times, "Tathastu." And then after the episode ends, and he said, "Okay, let's see, how do I fulfill this?" And looks around, and he's explaining this to Radha. There is nobody like me. Who am I going to say? It's so innocently, so beautifully, so cute. Says, who is here like me? मेरे जैसा तो मैं ही हूँ. Just very सहजता से admits it. I guess I have to go. Therefore I came as your son. And there are 3 avatars. The one before that was Vaman avatar. He'd come by himself. And this was the third time. This isn't the 10 Dashaavatar wali katha nahi hai ye. This is a different version. Just in the way of explaining why and how he was the Purna Purushottam. In the Bhagwad it says Brahma-eti, Paramatma-eti, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam iti. And this time he came all of himself, like completely, not Ansha avatar, not a partial manifestation, not an Avesh avatar, like he got excited and this is like triggered some aspect of him. He said just like the whole of him came, all of it, complete. Why is that? Because, and that's in explaining that it is there. So, and he would rather be known more as a Prema avatar than a Gita avatar or the one who did fist fights and all of that as well. So, because it was asked out of love, a mother's love, and then that grew into a brother's love, Balram, and a different aspect, then a friend's love, whether Arjun or brothers also in Uddhav's love, or the beloved's love, Gopikas, right? And then like the supreme love, purest love, Radha's. So throughout, while performing the side tasks such as the battles and the Gita, the main common thread was love. There's not a single Leela of Krishna throughout his lifetime which wasn't born out of and ended in love. And so this is great that we're pursuing the knowledge aspect of it, because there is no substitute for it, and he himself says you have to have this, but never becoming forgetful of the higher still. Jai Shri Krishna is good. Love Shri Krishna is the best, and we don't have to do drama, and I'm not suggesting in front of everyone to say love Shri Krishna and explain why, but in the mind at least, while you're saying Jai Shri Krishna, remind yourself, your soul, that yeah, Jai Shri Krishna good for you in the mind. For me, it's love Shri Krishna because I am his and he's mine. In whichever relationship you want to associate with, as his worshipper, Shantaras, 5 kinds of mellows, 5 kinds of paths. I know I've gone over this a few times, but its glory is so important that one more time will not be a waste. I know that. So first is the worshipful path, Shantaras kehte hain. The Rishi Muni, the sages, the seers, it's enough for me that God is, Bhagwan hai, and I am his devotee. Isme shanti se apne patiya mein baithe hai, and it's beautiful. It's very peaceful, very quiet. That's the Shantaras of the Rishi Munis. Higher still, when out of that shanti sprouts love. That, oh, it's so good, it's so beautiful, this peace, this shanti, I've never experienced anything like this. Even after having all this and being the biggest pandit or gyani or whatever, this is the best quality of shanti. When it starts to really mature, marinate, cook, out of it is born the desire to do something. When you love someone, you want to do something for the person you love. Whether it's your husband, wife, or your kids, or your mother, friend, your community. When you love something or someone, the one thing you want to do is do something for them, to please them more. Hence the flowers and the card and the gift and the WhatsApp status update and everything. I want to please you. Why? Because I love you. That's the only way I can show you. Right? Just saying I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you doesn't act. As again, my good wife reminds me, love is an action word. You've got to show up in action, not just words. She's absolutely right about it. Which is why God comes again and again. He loves us. It's not good enough for him to say, I love you. Never, don't worry about it. I love you. Well, yeah, okay. Well, you're sitting there wherever or inside. He shows up. And he shows up here as the Gita right now. He shows up in our heart as our conscience, as the discretion that we can use, as the vivek, right? So when love is born, it wants to do something. When the child is born, mother wants to do something. Feed the child, or dress up the child, or clean up the child, or take the child, or rock the child, doing something. And so out of that is born the next higher grade of a ras called dasya bhav, of servitude. when the person loves that object of love so much that I wanted, even like material objects, we polish up and we could keep here and there, and kahan pe acha lagega. I love this piece, really, it's so beautiful. Where should I put it? What should I do with it? Make sure usko cover laminate karte hai, that I don't want it to fade. It's a dead thing. It doesn't, right? But because love has taken place there. So, and then you end up serving it, that frame, or the cat, or the dog, whatever it is, or the house. And so the dasya bhava wants to serve. And service is in the form of doing something. Like Hanuman, you would never sit still, always wanting to do, like, what next? Parishan kar diya tha Ram ji ko. Like, absolutely, okay, I have got to come up with something to tell him again, otherwise he's going to be on my roof. There's a story that I will spare. Ayodhya, like, the war have finished, everything, all is well, we're back in Ayodhya. I want to do something to serve you. So he was on the roof of Ramji, like sending some signal from the, like, okay, what can I do next? So that's a different story, because he loved his master, that Ram was. And when that still intensifies, it becomes, the thing is, when it grows from impersonal to personal. The journey is from an impersonal God to a personal God. Impersonal in the murti, kitni sundar murti hai, kitna sundar chitra hai, oh my God, I love this. But there is a distance between them. फिर से संडे को मंदिर में जाएंगे, अच्छा लगता है. There is a distance, God is there, God is in it. But this is now growing. Shantaras, God is in my chest as the peace. And so it's come closer. And then Dasya, God is my master, I am his, he is mine, I must do something. Because it has now become a personal relationship. Even when that's not even enough. No, God is so personal, he's my friend. He's my friend. I'm not going to call him Tum, Aap, Ram Ji, Krishna Ji. Just call him Krishna, Mere Ram. And that's like the impersonality is dropping, slowly becoming personal. And that's when Arjun very unhesitatingly puts his arm around Krishna. Can you imagine? Purna Purushottam and says, do you want to try this? Like, this is really sweet, try it, eat it. Shabri, Ram, Mitha Diri, it's my personal God. It takes 2.5 hours to read the Gita. For 2.5 hours, Arjun is sitting comfortably in this posh chariot while his friend is standing in the heat. And the chhatra to the Arjun pe tha. Driver pe koi chhata wata nahi hota tha. So, but that's okay because he's my friend. They call each other Sakha. Hai na? So it has become so personal, grown into that, whether it was Uddhav or Arjuna or others. And then when that still grows, it becomes even more personal, that the Vatsalya Bhav comes in. Vatsalya is motherhood or the parental love. That's when Yashoda has no qualms about tying him up or beating him up or like chasing after him with a stick, treating him however he must be treated. He's behaving badly, acting badly, I must punish him. Nanda Baba is putting him on his shoulder, ulta kar raha hai, jo bhi karna hai. Because usme kya is my kid, my son. Bhagwan hoga, lekin right now he's my son. So even though in awareness of it. So it's grown so personal. Now it's become itna personal again. And when it grows the highest level, Gopika, Yatha Gopika Nam Narad Muni says, like, highest kind of love is that, like, the most personal kind. And it's like, he's my lover, he's my beloved, I love him. Love as love can be, the purest form. And that's not to say that everybody should be like that. We have to find our place, and we have to over time evolve. And it could also be a combination of 2 or 3 of these. I might think of Krishna as my friend, as my master, for example, and that as my beloved, however you want to say, like your parent or child or so. And then obviously the highest of the high was Radha, when for her there was no Radha and no Krishna. For Krishna there may have been Radha and Krishna. For Radha there was not Radha and Krishna, there was only Krishna. And there's a big difference in that, right? There may have been the lover and the beloved. For Radha there wasn't. And she says that. What are you talking about? Which, for me, it's all Krishna, completely hallucinated, completely taken, completely absorbed. There is only Krishna. Period. And that's then what else is left? Hence, she's the highest, and his heart as a pulled out. Like Meera said, Mere to Girdhar Gopal, that everyone remembers. But what she said after that was far more important than Mere to Girdhar. Dusara na koi. No? There's nothing else and no one else for me. That exclusivity, that claim on him, that is mine and I'm his, and the fully given surrendered, I am his. There was a saint. This morning we had a Gita Yoga in Hindi. We're going through the 4th chapter, and I was referencing that there was a saint in Maharashtra, Tukaram. You may have heard the name Santa Tukaram. And when people would try to engage him in other conversation, it's in Marathi, Ata Vekale Jivhar. Meaning, I've sold this tongue to Vitthal. Vitthal is Krishna in Marathi. This no longer can say anything other than whatever needs to be said in his service. I've sold this tongue. It's not mine any longer. And therefore I cannot engage in any other conversation than sing his glories. And when it becomes solidifies as that. So just a reminder, memory refresher, that everything else is all good, but the destination is the oneness. That's when it becomes Advait, Siddhanta jo hai Vedanta ka, not two. If there are not two, then there cannot be me and him. There can only be one, and that's him, not me. That's the difference in which we, in the 11th chapter, when he wraps up his Vishwarup Darshan, the cosmic vision, and he says that, the way you have seen me, others too can, and that's the method here. But he says, Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. That's that verse. Says that I am actually accessible to Gyatum. No, I can be known. Gyatum drashtum, I can be seen. Tatvena praveshtum, and I can be entered into. You can actually enter into my being, just like when I eat something, for example, it's got some organisms, let's say bacteria, or when I drink kombucha, the 1.8 billion in it that the bottle claims, they have entered into my being, but that was, and now they become jitubai, right? But that's physical. But he says tatvena, means spiritually. In spirit, you become just like in an estuary, a river flows into the ocean, and then after that, nowhere to be seen. It's there, but nowhere to be seen, although it's definitely there. But it's become the ocean now. How can you tell which one of this is the river, even though it's there, right? So, and that's when you experience the fullness and the grandness of Godhood, and our real nature, the fully expansive. That's when you experience the oneness with the sky, Mahakash, which is Maha-Akash. Akash is space. Right now we put a ceiling, a roof between that and us, and therefore we think this is my Akash, which is called the Matha-Akash. Matha being a structure, right? And so we've narrowed it down from the infinite, like an absolute infinite, to the very, very finite. A very small, very limited, and in it competing, who's got the 6,600 square feet or 7,000. This morning I was talking with two brothers are fighting over a property. They have a feud going, and they both talk to me and consult with me, and I consider myself as their brother. I'm hoping to resolve that. But one has, the feud is over a 6,000, they will go unnamed, 6,600 square feet property. The other one says, I've got a 7,000 one. Hence, I'm quoting these numbers. So, brother, I'm trying to tell them, everything that the light touches, as Mufasa would say to Lion King Simba, is yours. Actually, it's not 6,600 or 7,000. The whole infinity belongs to you when you become one with it. Look what we've done to ourselves, to us, by narrowing it down, by putting a roof, and because it's mine. Although everything is yours. The whole ocean, when you let go, when you surrender, when you align, when you leave it, it's yours. In fact, it's you, not even yours. No? So, महाकाश को घटाकाश में reduce कर दिया, और घटाकाश को मठाकाश में, और मठाकाश को घटाकाश में, the pots and the pans and the jewelry. This is man. Further reduction, and thinking that we're actually growing because I have so much wealth, I have so much jewelry, I have so much gold. But thinking that we're growing, in reality we're shrinking, and that is called Maya. उल्टा ज्ञान कि जो है वो नहीं लग रहा है, जो नहीं है वो है लगे ना. So while living in it, we have to make sure that we don't become off it, in it but not off it. So like one time Adi and I recently were in Honolulu, and we saw a huge, like almost like a mountain-sized rock, only about 500, 600, maybe 1,000 feet into the ocean. So it was accessible. It was in the ocean, but not off the ocean. It wasn't so far out; it had not dissolved. So it could be part of both also. So just all kinds of reminders in it. It had nothing to do with what we're supposed to talk about today, which we'll get into. But you inspired these thoughts, and they flow. And my effort is to not come in the way. The only thing I have to do is make sure that I don't come in the way, and that let it flow, right? Like just like a pipe in a garden should not be stuck. Let the water flow to whichever plant needs however much. And then, so I think that's it. The flow is about to start as far as that is concerned, and we'll start our Gita. Thanks for indulging me, humoring me, and listening. Let me, in fact, pause here and take some